So welcome back to Chop's Garage, guys. Today it's all about cleaning cars. I need to get these two cheapies cleaned and ready because the Skoda's got the 6 months MOT on it, so the longer I take to do it, the shorter that MOT is getting. The obviously Ford's got the new MOT on it. Both these I'm not going to do anything other than clean anyway, so it makes sense to get them done, get them up for sale. It's Friday now, I should have got them up for sale before then, but if I get them up for sale ASAP, they may well even go over the weekend. We've got a call on someone interested in a Toyota, so they're due soon. Still got to finish off the paintwork on the little Viva. Kia, well, I can't tell you whether I've shown that in the video or not yet. And the Fiat 500's inside the other unit. I've started to do the body work on that, so I really have got a lot of work on. So let's get cracking and get this cleaned up. So first up, engine bay on the Skoda. Give it a clean with I've run out of some of my favourite cleaning materials like G101 and Moonshine at the moment, so I'm having to make do. I've just got some method cleaner, spray it all over the engine bay, leave it for a few minutes to heat in, then I'll jet wash that off, obviously staying away from the electrics as much as I can. I wouldn't recommend jet washing engine bays, but as I've said in previous videos, I keep getting away with it, so I keep doing it. So, and then we're going to jet wash the outside, get as much of that loose lacquer off as well, then give it a polish, and then crack on with the interior. So as always, things haven't gone to plan. I started cleaning off the Fabia. A lot of lacquer has come off when I jet washed it. It's almost completely all come off the roof. But as you can see, it's faded here, so it's not a case of just re-lacquering. It actually needs another coat of paint. And the bonnet I jet washed as well, and I kind of stopped short of doing it quite so hard on that. But that's as far as I got with it, because the person came to test drive the Yaris. Went out for a long test drive in the Yaris. Came back and turned out she wants to part exchange a vehicle, but hadn't bought that vehicle with her, but wanted a price on it, which you can't really do because you can't. How can you price something you haven't seen? You can give a rough estimate off We Buy Any Car, but I haven't seen the vehicle, so how she's seen my car, she's driven my car, she knows what the condition of my car is. I've got no clue on hers. Anyway, she then promptly said, which I don't think I've ever had in this price range before, we're talking what, 3.5. I don't think I've ever had this before. She said she's got to look at 5 other vehicles. 5 other vehicles. She's going to go and look at some, she's going to look at another Fabia, I think it was, a Kia Rio and a Hyundai i20 and something else. 5 vehicles, and then she's going to make her mind up in this price range. 3.5 grand. Well, I mean, it's her prerogative, she can do it, but it just seems a little strange. I've never had that before. So that's put me completely behind. Obviously my plan was to get both cars done today, and I haven't even started on the first one. So, and now this needs another clean, having been driven on the road, needs another clean down before it goes back in the unit, really. I think. I wish I had my Moonshine. I've ordered some last night, because that would give this a quick wipe over, no problem at all. But I think what I'll do is pull it in as it is, and then I will, when that arrives, give it a quick wipe over, because I really do need to get cracking on these other cars now. I just don't want a dirty car in the showroom. So after many interruptions today, I finally managed to clean the Skoda. My plan for the day went to pot a little bit. I'm not going to get around to the Fiesta now, but the Skoda's come up nice, giving it a really good clean. That's all I've done. Giving it a really good clean, giving the seats all a clean, dash all had a clean. It's actually really tidy inside, you know, bar the sort of wear on that driver's seat. It's actually really tidy, and the rest of the bodywork's really good, all right down the sides and that is really good. Apart from that, yeah, bumper here, but like all down the sides is in good condition. It's a shame it's not worth the effort, because it's a nice little car, drives great. Some more of the lacquer obviously came off with jet washing, so hopefully we can basically just move it on to someone as a nice little cheap run around. Not lose any money on it, maybe make 100 quid or so for my time. Probably got, what have I got in it, half a day. So if I can get out of it with 100 quid or more, I'll be happy. I can't remember the maths of it, I'll have to double check what the maths is. But I've driven this enough now to know it's entirely safe to drive as it is. It drives really, really well actually. So if you can sort out what's wrong with the driver's door lock, get yourself down Halfords, get some matching paint, or Marlowe's of course, and spend a weekend doing that, you have a nice little car. Just not worth my time doing it. Right, Phil's message to say that the Kia is ready, the Kia Ceed Estate is ready, and I've got 3 people interested in that. So We've got first and second refusal spot on that. So I want to nip down in the Hyundai, drop that off with Phil so he can sort out the sensor issue and get it MOT'd, and then bring the Kia back and maybe get started on the Kia. Oh, dropping keys. Yeah, it's just spinning lots of plates at the moment, guys. So Phil did me a solid and drove the Ibiza back when I went down to Moors and dropped the i10 down there so that I could drive the Seed back. Unfortunately, the clutch damper hasn't made a massive difference. It's made an improvement. The clutch is not as jerky as it was before. It was right on the floor, wasn't it? So it was just bang, straight on kind of thing. It's a bit smoother, and I'd say we've gained a tiny bit more travel. But I'm afraid that's going to have to be it for that. You know, there's too much evidence online of people swapping master cylinders and clutches out and making no difference at all. It's entirely drivable. It's actually a really good drive, and you only really notice it from absolute standstill. Obviously, once you're on the move, you don't notice it at all. So I do think for the age of the vehicle, it's going to be acceptable. Plus, we have dropped a wedge into this. We're going to have to go and look at the invoice, but I think it was in the region of £650 we've dropped into doing this, and it still needs a service yet, doesn't it? I'm still going to need to do the oil filter, air filter on it, I think. So I doubt there'll be little to no profit left in it, so we can't afford to be dropping another, you know, £300 or £400 putting a clutch in or whatever it's going to be to find it's exactly the same afterwards, just for the hell of it. So it'll have to be a case of someone who buys a vehicle, buys it, accepting that. I mean, obviously, if within the sort of first 3 months or so the clutch went, then I would be kind of, yeah, I'd do it for someone, but I don't think it's going to, because there's no slip at all on it. You can't slip the clutch on it. I have tried. You can't slip the clutch on it. There's no burning smells or anything like that. So the clutch itself isn't going. It's just something in the, something in there is not quite working right, and most people said it was a damper, so we've changed it out and it has given a marginal improvement, but as I said, just doesn't merit doing any more at the moment. So let's go and have a look at the invoice and see exactly what we did spend on it. So I've checked my voicemails when I come in. I always check my voicemails when I come in and see what I've missed. The phone's been ringing all day long today. I've had that many calls today. Recommendations, 2 people calling me on recommendations today, from people that bought other cars from me looking for motors. I've got a call coming in from a friend who wants to sell me their Giulietta because they see I do well with Yaris. I've got the phone calls coming in off. I've had 2 more phone calls off the Seat Ibiza from adverts that are still floating around on them. And I've got more voicemails to go through, so I need to check more voicemails, so it's going a bit crazy. So got a voicemail from the lady who tried the Yaris this morning. She's not going to go and look at all those other cars. She's going to take the Yaris, and she's going to part exchange in her Honda Jazz, which she's now giving me the reg for. I've checked, it's just had an advisory free MOT on it. It may be a 2005, and I don't like cars that age, but it's an advisory free MOT on a Honda Jazz. I've got to see tomorrow what the condition's like when it comes in. She's assured me it's good, but we're going to have to check that when it comes in, because the price will be provisional to viewing, which I will put on the invoice. It might be a nice little cheap quick flip for someone. I still haven't listed up the Skoda yet because I've been too busy and I've got some more messages to check. So it is a bit crazy today. I need to settle down and catch up with everything. Finally managed to blend silver, guys. Pulled a late because I wanted to do it again. I wasn't going to let it beat me. It wasn't too bad before, but there's the old silver, there's the new silver. So it's early Saturday morning. The paint is still going off the bit I redid on the Ibiza. Well, it should have gone off now, but I'm not doing it with it to the last bit. You can see the darkness there, that's where the blend line is, so I need to buff that out. But the lady also took offence at the rear drums having surface rust on. So we've just given that a light coat. We'll give that a second coat in a minute. And then I've got to do the oil and filter change on it, because remember I haven't done the oil and filter on it, so I need to do that before it goes out the door as well. On top of that, I've got the lady coming back with the Kia Picanto because the the passenger switch to the electric window stopped working, so I've got to replace that. I've got that in stock. And I've got the people coming to pick up the Toyota Yaris. So I have got a busy day, hence why I've had to come in early, despite pulling a midnight last night. I've just got to get on top of everything and get cracking. But after that, I'm sure by the time I've done my content, it'll be a late night again today, but Sunday morning I am definitely having a big lie-in. What lessons have we learnt with the Ibiza? If you pull a sticker off and it takes the paint away, just put another sticker there. Or leave the sticker there in the first place. That's what we learnt with the Ibiza. Yeah. Loads of phone calls on this. Messages again last night. I've taken the ads down, but they still float around here and there. I could have sold plenty of times over at that price. Anyway, let's get cracking before everybody starts turning up. Right, so Kia's in, sorting the door out. Got the new motor in, seems to be working fine. The other Kia, the chap turned up and wanted to test drive it that I spoke to on the phone. Told him still got first refusal. I've taken his number. We're going to check with the subscribers, see if they still want it, and if not, he wants to come back and do a deal on his Ford Focus. This is working now. Like I say before, what was happening was it would only go down from the driver's seat, wouldn't do from the passenger. So I've replaced the motor and dropped the bolt, as predictably you always do. The only problem with it is the motor that they sent me was different to the motor that came out, and in fact it had these two tabs on. The one that was in this car had these two tabs on. The one they sent me hasn't, so I've actually bonded those on, and they're pretty damn strong now. Other than that, it's exactly the same, so hopefully that'll go up. Famous last words. So we'll get these bolts back in and see where we are. Always check it's working, guys, before you put it back together. Right, so we're going to put some plastic sheeting back over here, keep the condensation out, and then put it back together again. Right, guys, so manic hour or so then. So the Kia, I was trying to get the door on the Kia, and the couple turned up to pick up the Toyota, but obviously the Seat was here with its wheels off. So I'm trying to balance everyone at the same time, keep everyone happy. Luckily, they're all patient and good. The Kia, oh my God, to the window, absolutely fine, but it turns out she says that after I took the window switch out the first time, the rear boot lock stopped working, which I don't know the two are connected at all. All the other door locks are working fine. So I thought, well, okay, perhaps it's because I took the window switch out. So I put the window switch back on, started the car up, locked and unlocked it, the boot still wouldn't unlock. So I thought, well, okay, let's maybe disconnect the battery, leave it for a few minutes, reconnect the battery, because now I've completed the circuit, clear everything, any memory-wise out of it, work the key fob, work the button at the back, boot still won't open. So I don't know if the boot lock has failed or seized or something, just coincidentally at the exact same time I've been working on the window, or something else. So I drop the back seats down, hop in the boot, try and look for a manual release on the Kia boot lid. Can't find a manual release on it anywhere. So unpop the trim, try and pull the trim back a little bit, look in, see if I can see the cable. I can't. All of this with all of the gear in the car, trying to do it while I've got the couple waiting for the Toyota, and I've got her stood there. And long and short of it is, I couldn't find out what's wrong with it. I've sent her away and said that, look, I'm going to get hold of my key guy, have a chat with him, and have a chat with Phil down at Moore, see if anybody's got an idea of what it is, and if necessary, book it in with them to have a look at, and she can have a loan car off me, because it's like I said to her, I don't know what I'm doing really, to be honest. I could get in there, get the trim, have a play around, check for continuity, all those kind of things, and then still have to book it in with somebody else. So then she's got 2 trips. She needs to get in the boot because she's a cleaner and she gets in the stuff out of boot, bless her, all the time. So I just feel so frustrated fixing that one problem with her window and then having a problem with the boot at the same time, bless her. She says, though, the good news is apparently the seat is a hell of a lot better. So it must have been a lubrication thing. So pulling it out and doing all the lubrication is fine. And the thing is, I said to her, I said, I'm glad, I said, because I'd have been a real struggle to get hold of one of those seats. I said there'd be unobtainable. She went, oh no, I would never have expected you to get a seat. You were never going to find a seat like that from a special edition. She said, I knew that was never on the cards. So there's me thinking that she would pressurise me right the way through to getting her a new seat, and actually she's all right about it. Obviously we're looking empty again. I've got to bring the seat back in and give it a clean. Oh, other news. I've taken in the Honda Jazz in part exchange. First time I've taken a part exchange in for a while. I took it in against the Toyota, £850, which is what Auto Trader says it's worth. It's that does seem quite a lot of money, but then I looked up Jazzes and they're selling well. It's a 54 plate, with a lot of condensation. A 54 plate with 85,000 miles on it, and it's got an advisory, a brand new advisory free MOT on it. It just needs a good clean by the looks of it. It's a nice metallic blue. It's got some lacquer peel there, and it's missing one wheel trim, but I've taken it for a spin. It drives really well. Engine sweet as a nut, as I like to say. The lady's husband's an engineer, like a really good engineer as well. Very, very experienced guy. He knows his stuff and likes to fiddle with the cars and make them spot on, and it drives really, really well. Headlights could do with a polish. Obviously, with VAT and all that, to get out of it, I need to probably sell it for £1,000 to break even on it. But I think it's probably worth, I don't know what, comment down below what these, I'd have thought it's got to be worth, with a brand new advisory free MOT being a Jazz in the current market, 1,500 quid, would you say? I'd say it's got to be worth 1,500 quid. I just got to be careful I don't spend a load of time doing stuff to it. I would quite like to buff the headlights, obviously give it a clean inside. With my current experiences with paint, I'm tempted to do nothing to the boot lid other than give it a polish. It's not going to merit my time, and I don't think people expect a 54 plate to be immaculate, do they? But it's actually really good. It's very free of dings and scratches elsewhere, actually. I think that front bumper's had some paint at some point, but what car hasn't at this age? Little bomb around. Might even run that home tonight. You know the score. I always like to run them home and check how they are. But yeah, advisory free MOT on it, just been done. So I really should just clean it and kick it out the door, shouldn't I? Right, let's get the Ibiza back in again. The silver. See how it looks on camera. I mean, the blend is bang on, and the lacquer's bang on. The colour might be slightly different. Very, very, very slightly different shade. You can see it more on camera than you can in real life, but then that's not me, that's the paint mixing. Anyway, let's get back inside. I don't want to get any water staining on that. Right, run down into the last hour before the customer picks up the Seat Ibiza, but I was held up because a lad came by to look at the Fabia, which I put up yesterday night, about 11 o'clock at night. He came by to look at that. He's just off to go and make a decision. So, but realised I've got to do the oil and filter on this because I didn't have the boys do that, because there's no point, I can do it myself and save money. So new air filter in, oil filters off, had a Bosch one with a 24mm bolt end on it, which meant that my claw, my faithful claw, couldn't really get on it. It was a right cow and I didn't have a 24mm spanner. So that took me an age with various ratchets to get off. But the air filter that came out of it is actually really, really clean. And obviously using a Bosch oil filter is normally a bit better than you get as a general rule. So it appears to have been well looked after, although I didn't ever manage to get that much of the service history information, other than a legend at Seat, I forget her name now, who I messaged, and she picked up 4 main dealer histories, I think, services, so I was able to put them in the book. And now obviously we've got this one as well. Sorry, got that wrong. Seat didn't reply to me at all, couldn't be bothered after 2 emails. It was Toyota, which I guess you'd expect. Lady at Toyota got back to me and gave me the details of the services on the Toyota Yaris, which has just gone out the door. So yeah, bad show by the VW dealership at Barnstable. Normally brilliant if I want information, but unfortunately they don't hold information on Seats. But anyway, it's had the cam belt done now, isn't it? Water pump, tensioners, auxiliary tensioners, oil filter, air filter. So it's, you know, and everything that's coming off it looks like it was replaced recently, so it definitely did have a service history. It's same old, it's gone walkabout somewhere. Right, so just finished the Seat service. Took me a while because someone else turned up who'd been recommended from a local Pilates class, apparently, by somebody, couldn't remember their name, who'd had a car off me and said I was the man to go and see. They came round, wanted to look at a few cars, but I had to tell them pretty much everything he is sold or under provisional kind of thing. The budget they had didn't stretch to things like the Viva and the 108. They really wanted the Ibiza, but I had to tell them that's sold. They really wanted the red Ibiza, but I had to tell them that was provisionally sold. They quite like the Seed, but I said you'd be third in line for that one. The 500 was too small for them. The Volvo was too big. I honestly think if I had 30 cars here, I could be selling cars every day of the week, no problem at all. If they're all in that 3 to 5k price range. Anyway, I'm going to pull this out, give it a wash now. It's 2 o'clock and I haven't had lunch, and those of you that see me on camera know that probably is a big problem. Well, let's get it out and give it a clean. That's it, the Ibiza's out the door. I tell you what, I just scanned the invoices from Moores for that one, for the lady, so she had a record of what work had been done for it for her records. Bit terrifying really, including the having a key program for it, having the cam belt done and the MOT repairs. I dropped just short of £900 in a £4.5 grand car, getting it absolutely perfect for retail. That, people, is why dealers skip work on cars. I think the net profit on that is just short of £700, so not a bad result for that car, considering how much I spent on it. Obviously getting pretty much full retail for it. What the Auto Trader said was an advantage, getting, well, I got 4.4 for it in the end, and I not 4.495. I should have stuck to my guns on it. Look at those invoices now. I should have stuck to my guns at that price. But I think most dealers would be happy if they can make that kind of margin on a £4.5 grand car after spending that much having the work done. And they can't all be £1,000 pluses, can they? In fact, a lot of the time they aren't £1,000 pluses. So fingers crossed that all goes well. But obviously, again, this is the thing people don't understand for dealers. That money isn't mine now. There's 6 months now that anything could happen with that car, where someone could take, you know, they could take something that's a consumable item and still take me to court on it, and they would potentially win, because people will always find in favour of the consumer, not the dealer, in car deals, I think, as a general rule. So yeah, that's still not my money. We've got to wait until 6 months is out before that's the case. You saw that this morning with the Kia Picanto. You know, I made about £700-800 on the Kia Picanto, but what have I got in now? I've got, you know, 3 or 4 hours in fiddling around with the seat the other day. I've got 3 or 4 hours, you know, 3 hours or so fiddling around with electric windows, and it's still got to go down and now try and find out what's wrong with the lock on the boot. And there's still another potentially, what, like probably 3 months that, you know, she'd be within that 6 months Consumer Rights Act for anything major that happened. So don't get into thinking it's easy, guys. And also, all those people that go comment, oh, why do people buy from dealers? You can buy from private and you save money. Dealers only just want to make money out of you. Well, for starters, flipping newsflash here, everything you're buying, someone is making a profit from. You can make bread yourself, but you buy it from the supermarket because it's easier. You could get cows in your back garden and have milk because farmers are out to make money. That's why they produce milk, to make money. Bakeries make bread to make money. Everyone out there is doing what they do to make money. They're not charities. Every product you buy, you're paying a premium for. If you did it yourself, you could get it cheaper. If you clean your own windows, you can save yourself for the cost of a window cleaner. Window cleaners do it to make money, but people do it for the satisfaction of having it done for them and of a high quality. That car would never have been prepped to that level to go out privately. I can guarantee you that. It would never have been prepped. That Seat, for example, has just gone out, would never have been prepped to that level for a private sale. Not a chance. And you then wouldn't have the security of the 6 months Consumer Rights Act behind you. How much is that worth, guys? The difference between a private sale on that car and retail is £500. That's the difference between private sale and retail. That wouldn't even get you the MOT I had done on that car done. Then you have the cam belt on top. So all those people that go, oh, you're better off buying private, dealers are only there to make money. Don't talk such utter rubbish. Yes, possibly with bad dealers that would send the car out with the old cam belt in it and not say a word about it, possibly. Those ones that would have done the MOT and left the advisories, possibly. You know, but that's only what probably most 90% of private buyers would have done as well, sellers would have done as well. So you can shut up on that front, to be honest. Utter rubbish. Anyway, enough of that rant. Anyway, on that note, guys, I think it's time to end this video with my little sort of tour of a day in the life of a dealer. Obviously, none of what I was saying there was directed at anyone really watching the channel, because 99.9% you are absolute legends. Give me fantastic advice, give me lovely feedback. Really positive with everything I'm doing. So that is really, really appreciated. I'm going to drive the Honda, have my lunch, and then try and get home early today. I think I could have a good tidy up, but to be honest, I just want to go home now. And I'm going to probably drive that little Jazz back and make sure that's really decent for retail, or just shifting on as is. But I'm sure you guys will comment down below and let me know what you think I should do with that, whether it's worth trying to retail it or sell it on cheap, and what you think it's worth. Feedback's always appreciated. And we'll be back on it again on Monday. Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you again soon.